Assalamu Alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. You are early today?
I wanted to hear more stories of Hazrat Imam Ali. Are there any more stories of him?
Of course, there are many more. Alright, sit there. Inshallah, I'll tell you some more stories of Hazrat Imam Ali bin Abu Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The story of Hazrat Imam Ali bin Abu Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Even after becoming the Caliph, Hazrat Ali often visited the markets and other public places all alone by himself. He walked around with no escort, servants, or any other companion. He was always concerned about the poor, the needy, and orphan children in the society. He helped them as often as he could. One day, as usual, he had finished his noon prayers in the mosque and was passing through the market. Suddenly, he saw a little girl sitting in a corner and weeping. Hazrat Ali approached her and asked her why she was crying. She looked at the stranger and told him that she worked as a servant in a nearby house. Her master had given her some money to buy some dates. She bought the dates from the trader in the opposite street and took them to her master. But her master didn't like the dates and asked her to return it to the trader. But now the trader was refusing to take it back. This was the reason why she was crying. She was afraid that her master would beat her. Hazrat Ali consoled her and took her to the shop where she bought the dates from. He met the trader and told him, "This little girl is working as a servant and she has no authority of her own. Take back the dates and the money she paid you." The trader was new in Kufa and he didn't recognize the man standing before him. "Who are you to give me orders? I'll not take back the goods which are sold. Go away and don't waste my time," he said rudely. A passerby who overheard this and ran to the trader. When the trader realized that he had disrespected the Caliph of Kufa, his face went pale. He apologized for his mistake and returned the little girl's money. Then turning to Hazrat Ali, he cried, "O Amir al-Mu'mineen, please forgive me. I shall only be pleased with you when you pay attention to the morals taught in Islam." When the owner of the slave girl heard about this news, he too came running to Hazrat Ali. He apologized for the trouble caused by his slave girl. But the Caliph was really very angry at the master. "How can you not forgive the mistake of a little girl? You have no right to expect mercy and forgiveness from the Lord. You people call yourself Muslims, yet have learned nothing from Islam?" The trader and the master realized their mistakes and worked hard to become good Muslims from that day. It was the hottest day of summer. A woman was carrying water on her back, walking towards her house. She was thinking of her children who were waiting for her to drink some water. They were thirsty and were very hungry too. But this scorching sun was not making her job easy. She was very tired, but she slowly and steadily kept walking. When they reached her house, he placed the water at their doorstep and asked, "Isn't there any man in this house to help you? Why are you staying alone?" "My husband was a soldier," she said. "He fought for our Caliph and he was killed last year in a war." Hazrat Ali was left with no words to say. He bowed his head and took leave without uttering a word. Ali sleeping in his bed. But the thought of this woman and her children didn't let Hazrat Ali sleep the whole night. He felt guilty for letting the woman's husband die. The next day morning, he took a basket and filled it up with flour, dates and meat. He then went straight to the woman's house. He knocked at the door. When the woman opened, she recognized him from the day before and asked why he was there. "I have brought some food for the children," he said. The woman was so happy as no one had offered her any help since her husband died. She cried and said, "May Allah bless you and judge between you and Ali." She hated Ali so much for sending her husband to war. She opened the door and asked him to come inside. "I want to offer you my help in any way I can. What can I do for you? Shall I knead the flour for you?" he asked her. "Very well, I can cook better than you. But if you are eager to help, then please look after the children." Hazrat Ali looked after the children and played with them. After some time, he took the meat from the basket and grilled them. Then he started feeding the children with his own hands. He kept saying, "My son, forgive Ali if he has failed in his duty towards you," every time he fed the children. When the flour got ready, the women asked him to put fire in the oven. He agreed and made the fire. But when the flames rose up, he brought his face near the fire and said, "Taste the heat of the fire. That is the punishment for those who ignore their duties towards orphans and widows." Such was his regret. It was then that a neighbor walked into house and she recognized Hazrat Ali. When she realized that it was the Caliph indeed, she cried to the woman, "Don't you recognize the man who is helping you? He is Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali bin Abu Talib." Widow was shocked. She came forward and cried in shame, "Shame on me, please forgive me." Then Hazrat Ali replied, "No, I beg your pardon because I failed in my duty towards you." From that day, the needs of the widow and their sons were taken care of. Hazrat Ali always had a soft corner towards widows, orphans and other needy people. He believed that the Muslim society played a major role in taking care of them. It is what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had taught him. That's all, Abu. Next time, I'll tell you another story.
Thanks. Ma assalam, Yusuf uncle.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.